Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to twitch.tv/ice cream uploads. The time is 10-ish. Well, it's technically 11-ish now, but still, welcome to twitch.tv/ice cream uploads. My name is Graham Day, and this man is Sonic the Hedgehog, and next to him is Bibby. I'll read.
Morning.
I'll read.
Yes. Good morning.
How is sweaty old Manchestershire for you today?
It's actually not that bad in this room. I actually closed my curtains and my blinds last night, so the sun didn't necessarily come into my room and warm everything up. I don't know if anybody's seen my new setup pictures, but everything in my room, my desk, obviously my soundproof on the wall, the cabinets behind me, everything is black. So I don't know if that's having like a reflective impact in my room as to keep it warmer when I've got the curtains open. But anyway, I've opened the curtains but left the blinds shut, and it does feel significantly cooler in here today. So that could be the play going forward.
It's actually the opposite of reflective. A little bit of a light science for you here. The reason you see black is because black absorbs light. So basically that surface is absorbing all of the light and all of the heat energy. So yeah, that will be absorbing the heat and locking it in your room. So yeah, rather than reflecting it around the room, it just absorbs it and holds it in the room. Same thing, but slightly different. But there you go, science lesson over. Graham Day has just suddenly recalled a science lesson from high school. Yeah!
Learning with Graham, you learn it here live.
Yeah. Anyway, if you're in the chat, please feel free to say hello this morning. I'm warm. I have my two fans on. I have shorts on, no socks, and a sports shirt. And once again, wearing my Pez Garuda, my Pez League Indonesia shirt, gifted to us by the lovely people from Pez League Indonesia. My bowler for one. What a guy. So yeah, wearing that because it's nice, it's stylish, and it's cool as well. So there's that too. Plus, I'm halfway. I've just cracked open a Starbucks cold frappuccino as well. So cold coffees to start the morning. I mean, I would have tucked in to another Muscle Moose, but I'm saving those for pre-workouts. So I tried exclamation mark Muscle Moose. For those of you that don't know, by the way, we are now powered by Muscle Moose, so you can get 25% off by using our code. But yeah, I tried the blue raspberry first. I tried the berry flavor yesterday. I pulled my mic down a little bit so it gets a little louder. I tried the berry flavor yesterday. And that one tastes like cherry aid. It's phenomenal. So that was my new favorite. That's user the blue one. I've then got apple, which I predict will be my favorite. Might not be, but we'll see that.
Yep.
So yeah. A couple of things to mention before we do jump in. Yesterday we should have had a Masters of the League episode, but my interwebs was absolute dog shit. For those that may not have seen it, when we do Masters of the League, I connect to Bibby's PC using Parsec. I stream out onto the internet using obviously Streamlabs. I connect to Bibby using Discord audio, and I connect to Bibby using Skype video. We have to have an amalgamation of all of that stuff so you don't get noise repetition coming through Parsec and things like that. Anyway, long story short, those four things happening connection-wise on my PC is usually fine. When you've got 80 meg broadband, that should be plenty. But yesterday my internet was at like 19, 20 meg peaking, and looking at it today, I'm on 21, 22, 23, 24. It started low, but it's going up, but I'm at 27, 28 meg, so it's still not high. Anyway, the reason I'm saying all of this is we postponed yesterday's Masters of the League. We say we postponed, it's going to be just flat out cancelled unless we do an ad hoc stream on Sunday, which we did mention. Bibby said he was open to. I'm definitely open to, but we'll have to see if we do get that scheduled in or not. That has a knock-on effect, though. There will be no Masters of the League today. We're not moving it to today. But tomorrow, we're just going to cancel all content for two reasons. One, because Masters of the League, if my internet's still being as shit as it is, just won't work. And two, it's hot as balls, so there will be no content on the channel. Apart from ad hoc stuff, none of the scheduled content. So there'll be no scoop. There will be no Masters of the League tomorrow. So those are both postponed. We could have extra content on the weekend, maybe something later on in the evening tomorrow. Who knows? But the stuff that's usually scheduled, we are removing from the schedule tomorrow, so we can all sweat together. Yeah. So changes to this week's agenda. But yeah, that's it. Other than that, should we get stuck into some news? Let's get stuck into the chat. LFC Carson says, "Morning, lads. I'll read, pet." Asim says, "Top of the morning to you." I'll read, Mr. Tassim Anvia. How is everyone doing today? How are you guys doing? Hey! Mr. Tharian Drake dropping a party of 9 in. Thank you very much for the raid, dude. Much appreciated. How is everyone doing from Tharian Drake stream? Have you been playing? Is it? I keep saying the name wrong. Is it Conqueror's Blade? Is that what it's called?
Every morning, this, isn't it?
I know.
He'll come in and say, "No, it's da da da."
I usually get close, if not right, but I just can't. It's just not resonating. The name just like literally. I've said this a million times before. When I'm on stream, I'm okay at being the host or okay at playing a video game. The two together, I start to get a bit weaker. I mean, obviously, it's a skill that you develop over time anyway. But it's multitasking, and I am shit at multitasking. So trying to do a stream and play a game and having a conversation with Thorian Drake, I'm trying to remember the name of the game. It often just goes straight out the other side. So yes, it is. Yes, there you go. Knowledge retained.
Have you seen the two little small pieces of football news this morning? I know this is like way away from it, but apparently United are in talks to sign Ansu Fati.
Really?
Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Man United have made fresh approach with Barcelona wonder kid Ansu Fati, according to reports in Spain. This is on Sky Sports Transfer Centre. And also, Dybala has been put up for sale by Juve.
These sound like the bullshit stories that you get when no one's got any news.
Yeah.
Ansu Fati. I mean, I hate the phrase "the next Messi," "the next Messi," "the next Messi," because nobody's the next Messi until they're the next Messi. Everyone's the next Messi until they aren't. I mean, even Paulo Dybala was the next Messi, and so many other people have been next Messi. Even Joe Lolley, who used to play for Huddersfield Town, still plays in the Championship. Although, did he just get promoted? I can't remember. Anyway, he was the next Messi kind of thing. So yeah, I hate that sort of stuff.
Also, they're switching their focus from Jadon Sancho to Real Madrid star Vinicius Junior, but could face competition from Chelsea and Arsenal. This is in the Sky Sports Transfer Centre, but it's also under like the Daily Star, the Guardian, the Daily Telegraph. So it's whatever fucking narrative the newspapers want to spill.
Well, the Ansu Fati stuff, I mean, I know young starlets can leave Barcelona's La Masia and go elsewhere, but he's left La Masia, joined the professional team, the first team, should I say, and has had an amazing first season. But unless he was an absolute money merchant or a lifelong United fan, there is no reason for him to be leaving Barcelona. None. Especially with Messi having, at best, 3 years left as a professional footballer, which is horrendous to think. Maybe even less, maybe 1 year, and Messi could be leaving Barcelona. But when you've got that kind of player around you, he's not going to leave. He's not going to leave. And I like Vinicius Junior. I really do. I think he's going to be an amazing player going forward. But Vinicius Junior isn't fit. I mean, Real Madrid fans will stab me here, but he isn't fit to lace Jadon Sancho's boots. Jadon Sancho has much more prestige already under his belt than what Vinicius Junior has in terms of what he's done on what at Bundesliga level, and just put any time he's pretty much worn a Dortmund shirt. Yeah, not so much at international level. Oh, he has looked okay for England too, but he has looked more consistently better. So if the conversation has switched from Sancho to Vinicius Junior, that's going from shirt signing. A shirt-selling player that can play well to just a shirt-selling player that might play well. Not that I'm saying I do really like Vinicius Junior. I do think he will be really good, but he's not proven, and that would be a United signing through. Hey, this guy's potentially good. Yeah, but we don't need potentially. We need actually good right now because we need to be good now. We don't need to potentially be good in a few years' time because we never get there. We need to be good now. So yeah, Ansu Fati, bullshit. He's never leaving Barcelona right now. Not whatever does happening. I mean, they would be daft to let him go, and he would be daft to want to go. Even to United, it makes sense for him to stay there. Jadon Sancho, I reckon we're more likely to get him than Vinicius Junior. And signing Vinicius Junior, who is a money spinner sort of player from Real Madrid, would just be 150 million cost sort of thing. So yeah. Nope. Sim says, also heard United in for Nico Gaetan and Wesley Sneijder. I think we're still sniffing around there. Do you know what?
A picture
No! My
I've seen
internet.
that for 3 months. He just seems to understand.
Oh, 1 second. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a big delay. Okay, ending call. Drop out of the call as well, and then we'll jump back in again. Start video got. Boom. I think my network just dropped out on him. Don't know what he said then. I don't know if. Oh, I said don't know. You guys won't have it as well because you're listening to the. Oh, there he is.
Hello.
Hello. What were you saying then? You said something about a picture. What?
I forgot now. Oh, have you seen that picture of Wesley Sneijder? Like when he retired at the end of the season, like 2 months later, he was back in the stand, but he had like
Mega belly.
Okay, yeah, and like his belly coming out. I mean, that is the life in it. I mean, he's been looking after himself for so long. Why wouldn't he want to get on the burgers?
All day. I mean, the thing is, though, I wouldn't be surprised if they weren't rumouring that he was going to be signing for United at that point because it was such a thing for so long. I was hyped. I remember getting hyped at getting Schneider 2 different seasons. I know it went for more than 2, but there's 2 seasons where I thought, oh, this could be a possibility. This, oh, and no. Aaron Drake says the drops have ended for it now, but the company was pleased with how well received the community took it. Now they want to look at the analytics, and they've already worked on the next drops. Nice. GG, mate. So, for those of you that aren't aware, Tharian Drake, well, he does a few things. He plays games based in the land of Canada. It's Canadian. Yeah, there we go. He's a Canadian from Canada. There we go. So not only does he play video games like Conqueror's Blade, which he's doing as I don't know if the correct term is partner. He was partnered with the devs behind it, but anyway, long story short, he had privileged access, which got drops on the game. Plus, he also does sexy emote design. So if you do want any channel emotes partnered, there we go. If you do want any channel sexy emotes, or if you just want a chill stream to go and sit somewhere and watch someone do their craft on stream, then go give Tharian Drake a follow. Do you know what? I don't know if my Streamlabs chat box is open. It's not open. I was gonna give you an in chat. Nobody wants that. An in chat shout out, but my chatbot isn't alive because I had to do a full Windows update yesterday, which killed everything. That'll be why my audio source has changed on Discord before I went live. I had a big Windows update, but yeah, I love you guys. No worries. Oh, it's working. Hey, it's just literally as soon as it popped up, you press that one. So, boom. Hey, Conqueror's Blade. Pow! See, nailed it. It only took me 4 months to get there, but nailed it. Gatekeeper TV Craig says until Romano comes out and says anything, I'd take it with a pinch of salt. Yeah, that's kind of it. It's kind of. I mean, I hate transfer windows now because, like, you go back to the times when how many years ago was it? Now was it like 10 years ago when United, City, and whatever spent like 300 bajillion pounds on the last day of the transfer window. It was something kind of along those lines. I can't remember how many years ago, but like because people realized how much money was in it and how much attention was on it, you just get bullshit now. So you get the broadsheets and the tabloids all turn into tabloids. You don't get any actual decent journalism. It's just hearsay reporting on what he said, she said, and if there's nothing to it, just make it up. So all of the stories now. It's just, it's the Nico Gaetan, Wesley Sneijder stuff that followed that, and now we're at United are going to sign. Okay, who's the top 5 rated players on Football Manager or PES or FIFA? Yeah, United are going to sign all of these. Okay, City are going to sign. Who are the top 5 rated fullbacks? City like a good fullback, so give us the top. City are going to sign all of those, and that's pretty much it now. So, I'm not a fan of transfer winners. That will flame. Hey man, very nice t-shirt. Are you talking about me or Bib? Because if Bib's got a City shirt on, then
I've just got a Jack Jones t-shirt on.
Oh, okay.
I'm assuming.
If it is me, then yes, this is, like I say, this is the PES League Indonesia shirt. Yeah. Liverpool going to sign up all the top strikers. Exactly. That's it. We'll just sign 5 random players. No, actually, do you know what? We'll be contesting you with strikers because we've got enough of those. Wingers. That's what we'll buy. Wingers. do you know what? We need a defensive midfielder. Could shore up the defense a little bit more. Maybe have some creative midfield pace. So we've got someone that has the flair of Mata, but with a bit of speed. No, we'll just buy wingers. We'll 7 more Lingards, please. So yeah. Anyway, enough of the football chat. So let's jump into some news. Bear with me 1 second. There we go. So you will have seen it already. We posted the first story out on Twitter, as we usually do. It's Ice Cream Applause on Twitter. Same across all social media. Actually, let me jump into the split screen. So we've got bigger Bib on screen. There he is. Yeah. Okay, first news story of the day, written by Tom Ivan for VGC. Only owners of Control's £30 Ultimate Edition will get a free next-gen upgrade. Remedy confirms current owners are not included in upgrade promotion. Do you know what? I wondered when this would happen, and I wondered who would be first with this, because I'll just take it off screen again. So obviously, Microsoft kind of started things off with CD Projekt and their smart delivery system. So if you buy Cyberpunk on the Xbox Series One X, you will get a free upgrade on the Series X, and you can play it going forward. The same thing on the PlayStation as well, I believe. And I wondered who would be the first to come against that, because whilst that's a very pro-consumer message, and everyone would love that, it's not necessarily a message that all businesses can afford. And whilst Control has been hugely successful, its developer / publisher isn't necessarily on the same scale as CD Projekt. Anyway, let's jump back into the article. We'll jump back into that after we've gone through it, obviously.
Thank you for the ice cream.
Ads, thank you very much for the host, dude. Welcome in. Dropping an emote as well, Bib. What does that emote sound like?
It says, hello.
Yeah. Okay, Remedy will only offer free upgrades to the next-gen version of Control to those who purchase the newly announced Ultimate Edition, which releases later this month. It said Control Ultimate Edition will include the base game plus all post-release content for £29.99 when it releases on Steam on August 27th, followed by PS4, Xbox One, and the Epic Games Store on September the 10th. Digital PS5 and Xbox Series X versions will follow at the end of 2020 before physical next-gen versions arrive early in 2021. In a website Q&A, Remedy confirmed that the free upgrade path to Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 version of Control is only available for Control Ultimate Edition, which means that those who purchased it previously will not be eligible. The Steam's release marks the first time the PC version of Control has been available outside of the Epic Games Store. Earlier this month, Remedy announced its intention to create a connected universe incorporating Control and Alan Wake in an unannounced future game. Control's second DLC expansion. Is that or AWE? I've still not seen that. I'm going to say AWE.
I've got no idea.
So Control's second DLC expansion, AWE, will be the first entry into the Remedy connected universe. The Finnish developer said the add-on will see Alan Wake introduced into the Control story. In addition, the company is working on a future game that will also take place in the same universe. Earlier this year, the Control developer announced a publishing deal with Epic Games, which will see it release a AAA multi-platform game and a smaller scale project set in the same franchise. Remedy is also working on a single-player campaign for Smilegate's Crossfire X shooter for Xbox One and codename Vanguard, a service-based multiplayer game. For over 10 years, we've had a crazy dream, creative director Sam Lake wrote on the Remedy website. The idea that the tales told in some of our games will be connected to each other, a connected world of stories and events with shared characters and lore. Each game is a standalone experience, but each game is a doorway into a large universe with exciting opportunities for crossover events. So basically, they're making the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Yeah.
So yeah, Remedy, and I believe, I could be wrong, I believe it's developed by Remedy and published by 505, or is it just distributed? I don't know. Either way, 505 has done quite a lot of stuff. Remedy has made a phenomenal game with Control, but Remedy on its own, or 505 on its own, or even the two together, don't have anywhere near the same might that Xbox has, obviously, or CD Projekt has. So CD Projekt and Ubisoft saying, forward progression. You'll get the upgraded versions of our games on the next gen absolutely free. It's fine for certain companies. But for a company that didn't expect as much success as has been had with Control, I say they didn't expect it. They might have done, to be fair, but I don't think anybody else would have expected Control to have been as successful as it has been. or anywhere near as profitable. So a company like that getting the extra profit in, and then realizing actually we have another opportunity to to add a solid foundation to our stable of games by releasing an Ultimate Edition, which gives us an upgrade for the next gen kind of thing. See, I don't have a problem with that. I wonder if this will get a free pass in that, or whether people will start to hate on it, or whether this gives other developers a free pass to start going, actually, do you know what? We're going to do a special edition that gives you the next gen for free, rather than just in the one that you've got now. What are your thoughts, babe?
Well, and it's people. It's unfortunate that the people who got in with this game day one, who actually really enjoyed it, finished it.
Oh, 1 second, I'm going to stop
way
you
before.
there again. It's proper choppy. I don't think it's your mic. I think it's my connection again. Something. Let me make sure I've got nothing that I can kill.
Yeah.
Epic Games launcher is open, but not doing anything. I'll kill it anyway. I'll make sure Steam Client Bootstrapper is open, but I'll kill it anyway. Okay, give us words. Give us words.
All right, so I'll start again. It's unfortunate that the companies who, the consumers who buy this day one, who've invested in it, supported the game, are usually the first people to eventually not get the best deal. Ultimate editions of game have been around for a long time. It's just unfortunate that this Ultimate Edition is going to be coming with the PlayStation 5, or sorry, the next gen version alongside it. So it basically means that if you want to play this with the next gen graphics and the, I don't know, 1 billion frames a second, with all the HDR glorious textures and things like that come along with it, you are unfortunately going to have to buy this game again. It's such a shame that they didn't get the opportunity. Like, this wasn't said. I mean, this game came out this year. It's a shame that it didn't say that earlier. Otherwise, I'm sure people would have opted to pay the extra 10 or 15 quid that it would have been at the time to be able to get this when the new console comes out. I understand that maybe things wasn't as down the line as it probably should have been earlier on in the year, because we still don't know when the consoles are coming out. We know that the Xbox is coming out in November. We don't know how much they're going to be. We don't know much about the PlayStation either. So it's still all up in the air. So to be able to get your marketing message right at the beginning of the year is a bit difficult, but to be this close now and saying, actually, that game that you really like, we've got some expansions coming out, but if you want to play on your new console, you're going to have to shift out another couple of quid out your pocket. It's a bit shitty. If you had this game physically, I'd trade it in ASAP and get as much money as you can for it, and then pay the difference as and when you can.
See, I don't mind it that much myself. If it's bigger companies, I can see a bit more hostility towards it. But like comparing it to other media, it's like having a VHS copy of the Titanic. I don't know why that was the first film that came to mind, but we'll go with it. So Titanic, and then going, well, I've got a DVD player now. I want to play it in there. I know it's a film, and it's exactly the same film. It looks a bit better, but why can't I play in there? Because it's a different format. Okay. All right, well, I get that because it physically won't fit in it, so I get that. So, okay, fine. I'm happy with that. But because it's a disc and it's another disc, and software can allow people to get past that, people are naturally, obviously, going to be a bit angry at that. It's like, you can literally make this available to work, to unlock things and stuff. It's like, yeah, but to get it to unlock, the thing that it's unlocking requires extra development and extra resources for it to work. So if you just get that for free, then we're not going to make any money for that, so we might as well just not make that and just have the same standard old generation low res version on the new console. So I get where it's coming from, but there is a cost and everything in that sort of development. But yeah, see, I'm not that bothered with any of this. With peripherals not going forward, with games and stuff not going forward. I understand there is a cost to it. I know it's pro consumer, and I'm more what's the word I'm looking for? more, that's not the word, but it's kind of the same thing. I'm more judging when it comes to the bigger companies because I believe they have the ability to absorb more of that. But when it's something like Control,
Mhm.
made by Remedy, and it's a smaller team behind it with less resources, that are starting out on their journey into becoming a household name, then I'm less inclined to hate them for it then.
Yeah. Well, the other thing was I actually just checked out. I don't know why I actually thought this game. It's just been the longest year of my life. It actually came out back end of last year, so it's going to be nearly a year. 27th of August.
Yeah, it came out
when this game came out.
pre EGX last year because I remember seeing it at
Yeah.
EGX.
Well, what I was thinking was if this game has got a season pass, rather than having to buy the game again, and you could have had the season pass, why could they have not just bundled it in for something a little bit cheaper? So if the season pass is 15 quid or whatever to get the 2 DLCs, then they could bundle it in with that. That would that not look after your player base as well? So you are still taking money from them, but you're also rewarding the people who have supported your game from day one.
So, so if you get you. So give the free upgrade to those that have the season pass. I think that's probably
Yeah.
more a technical restriction more than anything. I think it's having access to a specific SKU. So if you've got the standard edition, as opposed to the ultimate edition, the ultimate edition SKU will give you the unlock on the next gen, whereas the standard edition SKU won't. But I'm not sure that they can put that unlock in without it being in the main game SKU as opposed to the DLC SKU. I think that's how that works. I could be miles off of that. I think that's how it works. Ads says graphics won't be better though, but they will. That's the point.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I imagine that would be the point, moving it over to the new console so that you get all of the higher resolution, the higher textures, the better frame rates.
Yeah, I mean, if you're playing it on a 1080p screen, then yeah, maybe not. I mean, you'll still benefit from ray tracing and things like that. Like a lot of the stuff that has been put into Control for PC won't be available on console because you can top out higher on a PC than you can on a console. But a lot of the stuff that is available for your high-end PCs, that stuff will be unlocked on the console. So essentially, that's what you're paying for. If you've played it, then and you're not that bothered about the graphics, then just don't buy the Ultimate Edition because you will get more from it. You're not going to get extra content. You're just playing for a more visually higher fidelity, immersive experience, essentially. That's kind of what you're going for there. Asim says, not a big deal for me. It comes with the base game and all the DLC plus PS5, Xbox Series X upgrades for around 30 quid. It's like saying, hey, I own this movie on Blu-ray and now you're releasing it for £10 more on 4K Blu-ray. I should get it for free. I mean, I agree. That's what I see it for me. If companies want to give it you for free and they can afford that and they have other ways that they're going to monetize off that going forward, that's fine by me. Like Control came out last year and doesn't have a season pass in terms of a battle pass or an ongoing in-game transaction store. If that came out now, you'd kind of think, okay, well, it would all be bundled in. But Control is made by Remedy, which isn't a massive developer. It's a game that came out last year. They're releasing something now to give people an option to buy in, and the people that haven't played it already that still want to buy in, thinking, yeah, but next gen's just around the corner. They're going, okay, well, if you buy it now, you will be able to play it on your next gen if that's what you're worried about. So, yeah. I think they are releasing it now in that sort of sense because they're on the verge of next gen, and the SKU that they're doing it with now gives people an opportunity to play in and take it forward. Whereas something that came out a year ago, why would we didn't even know the consoles, what they looked like or what they were going to be called, although we kind of had an idea with PlayStation at least. But so why should a game that came out a full year ago, that's not the console's not still coming out for another 3 to 5 months or whatever? Why should they be making games a year ago that will definitely be free to play with upgrades and stuff going forward? That's like me saying, okay, you can buy this Big Mac now for cheeseburger now for 99p or whatever it is. But yeah, I'm going to add on extra stuff later on. Fucking shit analogy that I flopped it up. Anyway, the gist of what I was trying to get at is you can't just say, okay, I know we did the contract and we delivered it. I give you my money, you gave me the game, and I played through and I enjoyed it a year ago. But now in the future, more stuff will be coming that I want for free as well. That's not how it works. That's not how any form of contract works. But in video games, because some people have been pro-consumer, doesn't necessarily mean that by not doing that, you're anti-consumer. It just means you are less able to deliver pro-consumer. Doubt it not when new gen's first released, seeing it already with FIFA, etc. Yeah, but FIFA is something different. FIFA, you're paying for a game that is next gen. It's effectively FIFA is a game that's been made for next gen. From the ground up kind of thing. Not from the ground up, that's probably shit for phrasing. Control is a game that is essentially being remastered. Is that probably the best phrase? So that's not being built from the ground up. They're not having to code everything. They're just making it visually more improved. It's the same way that you play Metal Gear Solid and then you play the Metal Gear Solid HD collection. You will see that it looks better because it runs at higher frames. You get the HD textures and stuff like that. So that will look better, 100%. Such a scummy way of doing next-gen upgrades. What? Asim says not. So that's Enix. Asim says not scummy at all. The deluxe edition users who bought the game with the season pass have to pay for the version with the season pass and the game again to get the next-gen upgrade. You bought a game on an old gen, and you want it to work in a new gen. That's like buying an exhaust for your Nissan Skyline, and then they release a new Nissan Skyline, and your exhaust doesn't fit it. Well, you bought it for something on the old gen. You didn't buy the new gen. It's hey, I bought the United shirt last year and 5 years running, so I should get the new one for free. Exactly. I mean, it's the same sort of thing. I mean, it's not scummy at all. I mean, I think scummy is a harsh way of putting it. They offered a deluxe edition which give discounts by saying that they've offered a deluxe edition. That's not a negative. A deluxe edition that gives people the season pass. They get the game and the season pass and everything at a discounted price than just buying the game and the season pass separately. So they're giving people an option to buy, and that now there's another option in there. Another option is next generation. So they've gone, okay, well, we'll give people another way of buying with discount. If you don't have to buy the standard version and then the deluxe version and then the ultimate version. Just don't buy any version. I mean, it's all choice. But yeah, no, it's not. But Asim says we have this weird sense of entitlement as gamers. Other mediums in the industry don't have it. Not all gamers think they're entitled to free upgrades year so down the line just because they bought something originally. Baffling to me. And it says not like that at all. Madge says it's not entitlement but predatory behaviour and exploitation. It's a game that isn't making good on Microsoft's upgrade path. It's Microsoft's upgrade path. Just because Microsoft, as the platform provider, have delivered an avenue for developers to use, it's a wonderful consumer-friendly avenue, but it's something that was never ever existed before. And someone like CD Projekt can absorb that, and games like Fortnites and PUBGs and FIFAs and probably PESs can use that because they have in-game transactions and stuff. But something like Control, which has a set storyline and has set DLC, that's not going to be able to go, yeah, fine, all right, then we'll just throw away 30 quid. I mean, 30 quid is what it costs. 30 quid for a full game, plus the DLC add-ons and stuff, plus a next-gen upgrade. We're not talking 75 quid here. We're not talking like AAA pricing. We're talking 30 quid. I'm not saying 30 quid's not a lot of money. 30 quid it's all relative. 30 quid could be the world to some people. It could be pocket change to others. But in relativity in terms of video games, the amount of content that you're getting there for 30 quid they're not ripping your pocket out to do it again. So in that sense, I wouldn't necessarily say it's exploitation. Microsoft have offered an upgrade path for some businesses to use. If some businesses can use that, absolutely, I'm all for it. Do I want free stuff? Hell yeah, I do. Do I think that a business is not taking that is the end of the world, or is scummy or anything like that? No, that's not at all. Remedy has made a hugely successful game. What did they make before that? Somebody in the chat will probably be able to say it, and somebody in the chat's probably Googling it, but most people won't be able to tell you what Remedy made before that because they're not a big company. Could you make a product and sell it? Probably. Could you make a product and sell it, but then give half of it away for free? No. And it's the same thing with developers. You can't just make products and give it away. It doesn't work like that. People want stuff for free, which is understandable, but people have this sense that, oh, do you know what, just because someone said that it should be free, I should have it for free. No, Microsoft aren't making the game. Microsoft aren't balancing those books. Just because Microsoft are given an option doesn't necessarily mean it will work for everyone.
What the fuck do I know? I've bought 6 copies of Skyrim at varying prices. So what the fuck? If I'm in, I'm in. Do you know what I mean? It's entirely up to me what I do with my money.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if being on PC has suddenly turned me into a game company bootlicker or something. But we all have a choice. We do. We have a choice. Just buy it. Don't buy it. That's the ultimate choice. But yeah, I mean, it's like saying watching a film. I saw this at the cinema. So therefore, I should get the DVD for free because I've already paid for it. It's the same film. All right, but that's not how it works. It's a different method of deploying it. Asif says, but yeah, I've done that one. I think fans are bitching about the game being terrible, but then we'll pre-order it at £75 to play it early. Stop trying to excuse their reasoning behind gouging customers. Who's trying to excuse reasoning for gouging customers? Are you talking to us with that? Because that's absolutely not what you'd call a debate. That's absolutely not. No one's gouging customers. They are offering additional content that people don't have to pay. It's not a next-gen only product. It's coming out on PS4, Xbox, and PC, but I own the game already on PS4, so I'd have to buy another PS4 copy for next-gen. No, you would have to buy the next-gen copy for next-gen, or they've now got a version that works across SKUs. If you want the PS4 copy only, if you're not bothered about playing it again, then just stick with the PS4 copy. If you want to play the next-gen version, then buy a version that works on next-gen. If you've not played it before and you want to play it on this gen and the next gen, there is a SKU that does that for you now. But like Chapper says, vote with your wallets. I have no issue if the game was just next gen. The game is last gen. The game came out over a year ago. The game was out this time last year, essentially, or maybe give or take a few days. So it's a last gen game that they are putting work into making into a next gen game. That doesn't come for free. Magic Man would be the first to say if it was scummy. It's not, though, and no one is excusing anything. But the fact that they're bringing it out on the same platforms they released the game on, naming it Ultimate Edition, and only giving next gen to that version, because it's a different edition. Listen to your words. It's on the same gen. It is on the same gen. Is it the same SKU? Is it the same product? No. Does it have additional content in it? Yes. Does it unlock future content? Yes, it does. It absolutely does. Stop and break it out for a few seconds. Is it the same? Same in capitals as you keep writing. Stop putting capitals in same or I'll block you, because that's just childish. It's a debate. We're getting heated now because I can tell from the way you're writing. Same. It's not the same. It's not the same. It's different. It's very similar. It's very similar. And I could completely agree with what you're saying. It's very similar. It's not the same. It's different. If it was exactly the same, it'd have the same SKU. They would literally be dragged through the mud for offering no differences. The differences are what you're paying for. And you've spent more than 30 quid on games that you've had before. You spent more than 30 quid on fucking skins for games that you've had before. But then you'll get up in arms against the fact that someone's offering a way to get involved in the next generation. If you've got the game, do you know what? You've got the game. Fair enough. Whatever. Don't buy it. Just don't buy it. Don't buy it. The developers in that studio, people are saying, yeah, but we don't want developers to crunch. We want developers to get fair wages. But I don't want to pay for it. I don't want to pay for the next gen upgrade, though. I mean, I want that for free. But don't overwork those developers and get all the hours out of them so that they can see so they can't see their families and stuff. I mean, I'm just going to pay for the time. I don't want that SKU because it's the same as what I've got. I mean, why buy PES 2020 when you could have just stuck with PES 2019? Because it's the same. It's not the same. It's different, but it's similar, and it's the same. I mean, that's a little bit different because that's obviously actual title differences. But there is differences in there. If you don't want it, don't buy it. But don't start harassing people with capital sames in the chat because you disagree with it. It's different. It's different. It's not the same. Craig says the chat is hotter than it is outside. Exactly. Oh, fucking hell, we're talking about people giving you an opportunity to buy a game that you aren't forced to buy, and people are losing their shit. It's not the first time we've seen it, and it's definitely not going to be the last, to be fair. Some people just like to be angry at the fact that they have to pay for new things. It's not the same. It's a new thing. If you've got it, stick with it. If you don't want the next gen upgrades, then don't pay for them. It's as simple as that. Some games will give it you for free. Enjoy those ones for free. The ones that don't enjoy it for free. Rockstar re-releasing GTA 7, which is 7 years old, is more egregious than games that are from the last year or so wanting to have people pay for the extra work needed. Exactly. You've paid for GTA on the PS3, on the PS4, and the PS5. But Control, which is made by a tiny firm in comparison to Take-Two, wanting to do something where they can offer their game at its full visual fidelity that they can achieve on consoles and getting their pay for doing it. They're the bad ones. It's yeah. It's like when bands release the same album deluxe. Chat's popping. That's popping. It's like when bands release the same album deluxe edition to be played on the same CD player you already own. It's gone again. But it has new songs or a B-side live performance. Yeah, you have to buy the new version again. People don't work for free. Spot on, says Asim. If you don't want it, don't buy it. Exactly. And the Rockstar case is only egregious because we're hungry for a new game. But the CD example is 100% right. Excuse me. I own 7 copies of the same Streetlight Manifesto album because of vinyl pressings and signed copies and CDs and tapes and everything because I wanted to support the creators. But they're offering different things with each release. Asim says, on the flip side, people are lauding Konami pays for charging £25 what is essentially a roster update with some gameplay changes. Not that I have an issue with it, just saying, example of double standards. I mean, I've seen people criticising that as well. I mean, you're entirely open to your opinions, but by telling people, like, incorrect facts, like it is a fact, it's the same game, it's not. That is incorrect. By simplifying it to the point that you are doing, you are turning fact into fiction. By saying it's the same, it's essentially the same. No, essentially means pretty much you are saying, essentially is grey area that you're turning into black and white by saying it's the same. It's not. There is differences in there. Enix says, well, that's content, not visual changes. Visual change to me is not new content or worth charging for. You're not. It's, that visual change. So you as a lighting artist, that's a visual change. If you were a lighting artist in video games, is your salary not worth being paid because it's only visual content? It's visual changes, not content. That visual change. You work on lighting. You're a ray tracing expert. That's a visual change. Do you not qualify for a salary? Because I mean, that's kind of needed to be paid for that change to happen. What about level artists, environment artists that probably need to redo textures because they're only at 1080p, not 4K, so they have to make them 4 times the size for them to fit into the same environments, kind of thing, without them being blurry? Do they not get any wages? Because that kind of is a visual change. I mean, I get what you're saying, but it's flawed. That's what I'm saying. The point is, it's just a visual change. Just the visual change is a big thing if you have to put that together. That's like me asking you to draw me a picture, but no, just make it be like Da Vinci-esque quality, not just your quality. Make it look like a Picasso, like of that. I mean, when I say look like, I mean be as good as artistically, critically, everything. Yeah, but that's requires skill and time and yeah, no, exactly, it does, doesn't it? Yeah, okay. But it costs money and dev time to make visual changes. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. It's part of a new product, yes, but because it's a new product with visual changes on content, that visual change and that there's technical changes. If you put your PS3 game into, do you know what? Because they're PS4 actually. If you put a PS3 game into a PS4 or a PS3 game into an Xbox, does it work? No, because it's different. It's a different system. You have to make that work. You'd have to have someone that connects the dots, makes the X button on your PS3 do the X button on the PS4, and the same from the PS4 to the PS5. There's coding changes and things that need to happen in there. Probably not that much from PS4 to PS5, but that stuff needs to be done. Someone has to do that. And if you've got the game already, then yeah, I can see why you'd be pissed off. You're like, well, I've already got it. Why don't I get it? Because you bought it a year ago when it wasn't a thing. No, the words smart delivery didn't exist a year ago. The word smart delivery didn't exist when they announced the Xbox in December. So you can't hate a company for delivering products previously before smart delivery even existed, and then being told, actually, do you know what? You need to factor in the fact that people want to be able to play this on the next gen, on the same SKU without your forecasted profits. I know you're only a small company and you forecasted to sell this many products, this many deluxe products, and then sell this many on the next gen. But actually, you realize that now this smart delivery stuff, you've probably changed your delivery for the next gen to have Ultimate Edition, which comes out now, and next gen. So they've probably adapted their plans to factor in forward progress with the Ultimate Edition because of that. But when all of that came out, their SKUs and their forecasts wouldn't have been built on that because nobody knew about that then. But when it's literally the same game with the RTX added on, but the RTX is locked behind an Ultimate Edition. So because you didn't pay for it, you should get it. If you go to McDonald's and pay for a medium meal, and other people have paid for their large meal, which comes with extras, should you get it because you paid for the foundation of the meal? No, you shouldn't. No one has a problem with Tony Hawk Pro Skater being remastered as the same game rebuilt, probably because Sony is sick, but that's a double standard. That is true, especially as a smaller studio. Should DVD Blu-ray director's cut be free too then? Same movie, but just few changes, additions they've already filmed and had done. But that game wasn't made on this gen. It's all PS1, so it's new. Yeah, it wasn't made on this gen. You literally flawed your own argument there. But that game wasn't made on this gen. It's all PS1, so new content rides on nostalgia new skits. Okay, this game wasn't made on the next gen. It won't play natively. Something will need to be done to make it play. You can't just put a disc in. Someone needs to develop that. It's literally the same. It's the same point. It's the same point. By the way, loving movie Sir Wallace. Yeah, I mean, something I keep seeing him grin and then just kind of like sit back, look at him, chin on his. But did you pay for the product before on a console you already owned that you could have already kept and just played on that? Yeah, exactly. But you could just play the same game here without paying for the new version next time. No one's forcing you to throw out your current gen console in every game. Just play the game without the RTX if you already bought it once. I think one thing we've all learned today is that NX is a cheapskate. Papa, I want to say that again, Rockpipe. Ooh, fighting talk. He's not a cheapskate, to be fair. Jordan is quite good at throwing his money around in terms of buying the games that he supports, buying content in game that he supports, dropping gifted subs on this channel. There you go. He's second in the all-time gifted subs, so he's not a cheapskate. I see what you're saying. I mean, it does come across in that way. Yeah, I know you're just messing. I'm just obviously trying to keep balance in it, kind of thing. He's not a cheapskate. He does fight for what he believes in. Which is admirable. The fact that he believes that these businesses are scummy in their practices and will stand up for that is admirable for himself. Doesn't necessarily mean that we have to agree with his beliefs. And that's the point, is we can get heated, and we have been heated many times in the past in this chat. The fact that we can do that and still respect other people's opinions, that's kind of what makes this good. But yeah, he's a massive cheapskate. It's proper cheaper. Cheap. No, I'm joking. He has his beliefs, which is wonderful, because if he didn't have that belief, we wouldn't be getting heated in this chat. And if we wouldn't be getting heated, we wouldn't all be chipping in and having a conversation. It's that heated stuff that makes people's opinions be challenged. There's nothing wrong with having an opinion, and there's nothing wrong with having your opinion change. The thing with your opinion is
if it changed, if you think it needs to be changed, it doesn't have to be changed.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was getting at. If it's your opinion, the thing with your opinion is it can be whatever you want it to be. It can be A all the way through, or it can be A and then change to B. And that's the thing. Or it could change back to A again, or it could go to C. Feck knows. Your opinion is your opinion, and it can be whatever it needs to be for you at that point in time. If you believe it's scummy, then you are well within your rights. My opinion is different. Just because my opinion is different doesn't mean that we can't agree to disagree, or we can't get along. If you have a different opinion, you can't get along with someone, then you're not really welcome on the internet, because there's a fuckload of opinions on the internet. But yeah. Reed Konami and PES21, I've certainly spoken against the decision of theirs, says Madge. If you're using that analogy, if Metal Gear Solid 1 came on PS5 with full upgrades, you would pay for it because there's a huge generational leap. It feels like a brand new product. If Metal Gear Solid 5 came out on PS5 with only RTX, is it worth charging your customers £40, especially when the game is only a gen old? See, what you are doing there is assuming. When you assume subjective change isn't valuable. So the subjective changes, your subjection is saying that the change from Metal Gear Solid 1 to PS5 is value, but your subjective opinion is that the change from PS4 to PS5 isn't. That's subjective. That's where the opinion comes from. It's all based on your individual relativity. If you think that subjective opinion is worth it, boom. If you don't, then also boom. Just don't pay your 30 quid. It's as simple as that. That's it. It's subjective. If you think going from Metal Gear Solid 1 to PS5 is worth it, then the same logic means that people could assume that going from PS4 to PS5 is worth it. It just depends what you deem as worth. If you don't feel it's worth it, then the option there is to not pay for it. It's as simple as that. Hey guys, give Enix a break. He's still getting over the Halo news from yesterday. Glad it's delayed. To be fair, I did say that. I did say I was fighting Enix Corner on that yesterday, saying that he did say that he'd be glad it's delayed because when we were watching the game showcase, he was on it live with us, and he was the first to say he wasn't particularly happy. And he could see things popping and stuff. I was just baffled by the flashy gunplay, whereas he was knowing what he was looking for as a Halo player, and you could see, yeah, textures look bad, distance looks blah blah blah. So yeah. I mean, I would personally pay for it despite owning it on PS1, but I'd be happy so people could be paid for their labour. And then rolls the dice with Simon Pegg from Shaun of the Dead. Oh no, it's Limmy again. Sorry. Okay, it's fine. Just keep attacking. Who's attacking? Get over with your attacking. It's a great discussion, but I think ultimately boils down to we as gamers being used to certain ways and prices. Other industries. Hey.
Chappers.
I thought I was going to do I'm sat there waiting for the TTS to run through. But Chappers, thank you very much for extending the tier 1. What a guy. All the way through September. Oh, yeah. Salud. Hallo. Salud. Somtiero. Hajduk. That's what was it called?
Or whatever it was.
Numa, yeah. Yeah, whatever that was called. Anyway, it's a great discussion, but I think ultimately it boils down to we as gamers being used to certain ways and prices. Other industries have been working in this way for ages. You put extra work and time into you get paid for it. Nothing in the world is free ultimately. If they were charging £50 for it, I'd be weary, but it's the same base game, all DLC and upgrades for new consoles they've worked on for 30 quid. It's the same thing for me as getting like the same mentality as I can't remember what. Like, I'll give you a more recent example, so I'll give you an old school example. The PlayStation Platinum. Remember, you buy a PlayStation game for 50 quid, and then you'd get the Platinum version, which was like the 20 quid version. It's the same game. It's exactly the same, apart from it has a silver box to signify that it's cheaper. With all of that stuff thrown in, Dragon's Den didn't that's it. Yes. I don't know why I said yes. So excited like that. No one's ever been that excited for Dragon's Den. But anyway, yeah, it's that sort of mindset. The fact that everything's in it, including forward compatibility for 30 quid. That's the PlayStation Platinum mindset for me. Getting the extras of the next gen leap as well. Especially if you're buying it so late in the day. If you bought it already, then it's been and gone. If you're buying it now, then you kind of want your value for money, and your value for money, if it's only going to last you 5 minutes, then surely the forward compatibility is best to be thrown in there.
I've just thought of something though. I know we've been on this topic for like nearly 57 minutes, but you're buying the Ultimate Edition for the PlayStation 4, aren't you? So it's just one little bit of data. Like there's going to be nothing more on the disc than there would be on the original disc. It's just going to be a little bit of data that's been put onto the disc that when you put it in on your PlayStation 5 or whatever console, or on your PlayStation 5, it's going to know that little bit of data's on there and you've bought the Ultimate Edition. And then up-res it from there.
It's a SKU, yeah. It'll be a number in a database. So when you go on to PSN, you will see whatever game, standard edition, deluxe edition, collector's edition, and so on. And the SKU is essentially, most of it's all the same. It's just a number in a database says this also gets access to the DLC. This also gets access to the pre-order skins or whatever. So that's what it is. But that's what all games are kind of fundamentally around. So yeah, most to have that as a way that it's only in certain things will be having it hidden, locked into the SKU thing, which is kind of what I was saying earlier on. So yeah,
that's what I was leading to with like the season pass stuff. If you bought the season pass for £20, then it is essentially the same thing as buying the disc version that has the exact same data on it. It's just got the little switch in there, so you could meet the consumers halfway rather than having to buy the full game again if you've already bought it. Buy the season pass with the little bit of data in that says upgrade or whatever, so you can meet the consumer halfway. For people who've already bought it anyway, I know this is kind of going against what everybody else has said, because like using the analogies of buying the same album 17 times, or if you are me, buying the same copy of Skyrim for different consoles 6 different times. But that I don't know. I mean, what I'm saying is not kind. It's very similar to what Nix is saying, but yeah, I get what I get. I do get where he's coming from. If I was going to look at it both ways, I would probably say for the consumers, bundle it in with the season pass, so you are getting something for your extra 20 quid or whatever it is. But from Remedy's standpoint, they want people to be able to back them again, and I agree with that as well. So I'm kind of, I hate sitting on the fence when it comes to stuff, because I'm very much, I speak my mind when it comes to things. But with this, I can see both sides of the story, so I don't even know what side of the camp I come in at. I feel like they could have done more to help the people who bought in day one and met them in the middle, and then the people who haven't played this, that I've heard good things, that have been waiting for an Ultimate Edition with all the stuff bundled in, they can then go in for the top price range if they so wanted to.
Jordan says Dragon Quest 11S has new characters narrative, so it's capital letters again. Fuck's sake, worth the upgrade, even though it's the same game on the same platform. You once again use your subjective opinion to define value. I've just mentioned this. You define character narratives and quests as being worthy, but you don't define visual fidelity as being worthy. Why do you have a 1080p TV? Why do you not have a CRT TV? Because that has, I mean, it's cheap as feck. Probably not actually for CRTs now, but get yourself a crap TV that's got like 720p, an old school flat screen kind of thing. I mean, that'll be cheap, and that has lower visual fidelity, and that's worth more because it's more value. It's cheap. I mean, visual stuff doesn't. We all know visual is important. If you don't see the worthiness in those visual upgrades, that's for you. I have a 240 hertz monitor because I see having high FPS and those functions as being value. I want a 4K monitor in here as well because I see value in that. So if I'm paying 30 quid for a game that gives me 4K 60 FPS or 2K 120 FPS, whatever the things are ever going to be finalized at, or if they have already and I've just forgotten, I see value in that. My technology is built around that. So for me, I see value there. If you don't see it, that's fine, but don't tell others that it's not. If you don't see the value, great. If you see the value of just being in the story and the gameplay, and you're happy to play that on a CRT TV forever, wonderful. If you see the story and being in both, so wonderful. If you just see, okay, it's an amazing story, but it's not 4K resolution, I'm out. Fine. Some people are audio files. If they don't have the best $3,000 headphones or speaker systems, or some people are visual files. If they don't have like absolute CES just announced 8K TVs and stuff, they're not interested. But that's all subjective. It's what you find appealing. Some people like stories so much that they will read books but not play video games. Also fine. It just based off of what you think is worth it. 30 quid for someone that hasn't played Control, me, that hasn't got any of the DLC, me, and will be getting a next-gen console and can take it forward, me, 30 quid is a bargain. So yeah, you have a different opinion as well because you come from someone that has bought all of that stuff. Fine, just don't buy it again. It's as simple as that. You've had your enjoyment with it. Fine, just if you feel that agree, just don't buy it again. I'm all for it.
This could have all been amended if they just put a PlayStation 5 sticker on the front of it rather than a PlayStation 4 one, and paid £30 for a brand new PlayStation 5 game, rather than having it on a PlayStation 4 front cover, and then it's saying this is the version that will transfer over to PlayStation 5. Just say this will come out alongside the PlayStation 5 with a PlayStation 5 case, and it's going to be £30. There's no grey area there. Then it's a PlayStation 5 game. That would have been the marketing ploy. I tell you what, hire me, and I'll be able to market your game for you.
See, that's the thing. That's less pro-consumer, but it's less argumentative because you're not giving them something that they can take forward. You're just saying, well, you have to move forward or don't get it. So it's less pro-consumer, but yeah, there's less grey area there for people to pick apart.
You've already got it on the PlayStation 4. You've got a PlayStation 4 version. You can buy the season pass and get the DLC. You can buy the DLC separately if you really wanted to. But if they just said, "Here you go, here's your PlayStation 5 case, here's the game," it's actually a PlayStation 4 game, but you can play on your PlayStation 5. Put all the marketing stuff on the front of it, and then go boom. Day one release, £30. Yes, please. You got everything that you've got from the PlayStation 4 with better graphics, everything else, all our development time. This is going to be worth your £30. And then boom, you can play it on your PlayStation 5. You've got all the expansions, you've got all your high resolutions, your RTXs, your HDRs, all the little pretty 60 frames and all that shit. Boom, there's no grey area. There is no line for you to be able to blur. It's a PlayStation 5 game. Have at it. Then I wouldn't have been bothered about buying 6 copies of it because that's exactly what I've ended up doing with Skyrim.
Remedy are more than entitled, having worked on this Ultimate Edition and its upgrades for PS5, Xbox Series X, charge for it. Dev time is not free, no matter how little or large. Says Asim Chapper says, that's me, big audiophile, have the best, having to have the best headphones, the best amps. Madge says, although I added fuel to the fire, in the interest of the show, can we put a pin in this and move on to another article if there is one? There is more articles, but there's nothing wrong with having a lengthy discussion. That's the idea of the scoop, is to have stories that we feel passionate enough to talk about. I mean, we've held a steady 20 viewers throughout, so some people are clearly liking the heated debate, and that's the point. Is the debate side of it is where we get to have more personality, because if not, it just becomes 5 o'clock news or whatever, where we tell you the story, you listen and go great, and then we move on, kind of thing. So yeah, we will move on though. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with a heated debate. It's good. If there was no dev time at all, I'd agree. Says that's him. Enix says what I said. If it was PS5 only, that's fine. But shitting out people already bought it on PS4 with DLC. Well, think of it as this: it is PS5 only, but it gets some PS4 stuff in it as well.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah.
Man who works in marketing. Chelsea about marketing, says Chappers. But does that stop them from getting people to buy the copy now? Exactly. If by having it now, some people, like me, I haven't played it, and I do want to play Control. It looks like a really good game. I've heard nothing but good things about Control. If for me, I wouldn't buy it now. I'd be like, okay, well, PS5's coming out. I might as well just hold. I've got enough to keep me busy for the PS4 anyway, or whatever. Buying it now, knowing that it moves forward, is good. It might not be good for you, Jordan, and other people that have bought it and the DLC, but for me, it's really good. It is a 30 quid. 30 quid for a game that is story-wise on par with The Last of Us or whatever. And I can take it forward, mate, is a bargain. So, yeah. Final few comments then on that. They're being transparent, though. It's a PS4 game with upgrades for PS5 Plus. Pretty sure there are some PlayStation guidelines around marketing such a title as PS5. In fact, I'm pretty sure. I believe there is as well. Rockpie says, no idea how their balance is looking at, but they have staff to pay in a pandemic context, so it's way more tempting for people like me to buy 30 quid knowing it will transfer over. I'm on that bit as well, having not bought it and not paid for it. Buying it now, knowing that I can play it on my next console if I don't get through it on time in the PS4, because there's a lot of games I still haven't got through on my PS4, then that's attractive for someone like me to buy it now. Scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for the 34 bits, chappers. Much appreciated. Almost like they are targeting a certain segment of the market with this. Exactly. We all get Control sometime. Anyway, let's pin the Control conversation. And let's move
20 minutes
forward.
I've got someone coming round.
Let's spend a good 20 minutes on this next story, and then 20 minutes for each of the two stories following. I mean, this is, if I'm being honest, the next story is boring as heck and focuses on a franchise that nobody really cares about, so you wouldn't pay to upgrade to the next gen anyway. So anyway, let's talk about Resident Evil. I just wondered what his response was. We got and that was it. So the next conversation, yeah, exactly. Capcom indicates it's not surprised by Resident Evil 3's sales decline. The remake has so far sold significantly lower than its predecessors. Written by Andy Robinson for VGC. This goes on to say Capcom. Wrong bit there. Capcom has indicated it's not surprised by the sales figures for Resident Evil 3, which so far has fallen well below recent series installments. As of June the 30th, Resident Evil 3 has sold some 2.7 million units after nearly 3 months of sales. The figure marks a significant 55% decline from Resident Evil 2's 2-month launch sales of 4.2 million and a 30% decline from Resident Evil 7's 2-month launch sales of 3.5 million. It's also lower than Resident Evil 6's 4.8 million launch and Resident Evil 5's 5 million launch, both in 3 months. However, these titles were released with more mass-market action genre. According to Capcom sales data this year, it sold almost double the number of back-catalogue Resident Evil titles than copies of Resident Evil 3. However, commenting in a newly released investor Q&A held this month, my mouse wasn't working, there we go. Capcom has suggested that the 2020 remake sales were in line with the performance of the original PlayStation game, which itself was less popular and sold significantly less than its predecessors, including director's cut versions. With reference to sales trends for the Resident Evil 3 Nemesis as well, results have not especially deviated from our internal sales plan, the company said. Looking ahead, we will consider pricing strategies targeting the holiday season starting in autumn and running to the end of the year. Capcom has previously described Resident Evil 3's sales as solid, and as a game released a year after its predecessor, it's likely reusing many assets. It was likely highly profitable. Resident Evil 3's launch decline could be partly credited to the coronavirus pandemic, which significantly disrupted supply chains around Resident Evil 3's April release. The title also received less favourable reviews compared to its predecessor, with a Metacritic score between 77 and 84 compared to Resident Evil 2's 89 to 93. Capcom announced this month that Resident Evil 3 series the Resident Evil series has now sold 103 million units to date. The next installment, Resident Evil Village, was revealed during a PS5 reveal event in June. First-person title is planned to release on PC and next gen in 2021. Final line, I'm not even going to read because they never, ever link through to the original story that we're talking about. So, Capcom isn't surprised by Resident Evil 3's sales decline. And do you know what? I don't think any of us could really. After 12 months after a hugely successful title, dropping another one of the same sort of caliber, you always have a little bit of repetition fatigue. You've just had a remade Resident Evil that looks amazing. Okay, now we've got a remade Resident Evil that looks amazing. A lot of people still want to have played Resident Evil 2 before Resident Evil 3 arrived. I only played it because Resident Evil 3 was arriving, and Bibi forced me to play it. I enjoyed it, though, to be fair. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me that it's dropped off a bit, because 2 was the first big remake, so that's the first. You only tend to go downhill after your big crescendo. But it has rejuvenized it enough to sell 2.7 million units ahead of Resident Evil Village. So, I mean, I think that's kind of all you could expect, especially if, as it said within the article, a lot of the assets are the same assets that they used previously. So they don't even need... there you go. It's the same content. It's just the same visual content. Let's leave that behind.
I knew this wasn't going to sell as well anyway. History repeating itself. The Resident Evil 3 came out 12 months after Resident Evil 2 did, way back in like 97, 98. So having these two games basically following the same footsteps is interesting. I know for a fact that the Metacritic score was lower, purely because there was a few things that was missing from it. And the most notable one from the people who have been waiting for this game is obviously the clock tower. Not getting that included in the game, like we did in the original ones, was a massive cut. It was in the original games. It was a huge segment. It was a pretty iconic segment, shall we say? And that not being included in this one kind of pissed people and rubbed them up the wrong way. So having a low score like that, I knew full well that was going to put people off. If people like me had completed this game 2 days after it came out, but in fact, I did it in the same day, just over 2 streams. It wasn't a long game. It was actually shorter than the original one, and I completed this game in maybe 4 hours, 5 minutes or something. So having big bits missed out would have rubbed people the wrong way. So the people who might not have got into the franchise and was looking to play this one, I think actually if the people who are hardcore and they're pissed off about it, it may not be for me. And then obviously the distribution shit show that went on around around COVID, people companies not being able to have people come in and buy the games, or being held in warehouses on the other side of the world because they can't get them over into Europe and stuff. Obviously that would have affected it, not to the point where I think that this has put a massive amount of dent into the... I don't think they would have sold an extra 2 million copies if COVID wasn't here anyway, put it that way. So yeah, I think overall it's disappointing from my standpoint, because I wanted people to play this because I know it's a good game, even though there's bits missing in there. As a hardcore player, I know it's still a very, very good game and a very enjoyable one at that. So it is disappointing, but it doesn't surprise me one bit.
Just comments in the chat. This game seemed good, but I guess it's more of the same, and players would have been put off by that, says Madge. Now Bibi's giving the hardcore fan POV. That's true. He did. Asam says, pretty sure Capcom's sale team would have planned for this, just under 3 million sales. It's still good, though. It had COVID to deal with and was released alongside Final Fantasy VII Remake. Chappers, I mean, quoting all of the facts, rubbed people off and pissed people up the wrong way. Yep, absolutely. Rock Pie says that's a faster completion time than Fast and Furious Crossroads. God damn. Well,
And that's a £50 game.
yeah, that's like almost 2 of the Ultimate Editions of Control right there. Roffle.
Well, this was priced accordingly as well, though. Don't forget, this was priced at, I think it was £29.99, or if you wanted the deluxe one, it was £35. So it's priced accordingly. We knew what we was getting into before it even came out. I was always going to buy this regardless. I still need to buy a physical copy because I couldn't get to the shop to buy one. I had to buy it digitally. So at some point, I will be picking up a physical copy of this one as well. I will be double dipping regardless, just for the collection. And the wall behind me, Resident Evil and Silent Hill shelf right there.
Anyway, let's put a pin in that. Let's move forward at pace because nobody cares about Resident Evil. It only sold 2.7 million copies. Why even bother me? Honestly, good game, good series.
Not bad for an indie developer, was it?
Yeah, it'll do. I mean, stick to Street Fighter, mate. Anyway, Sherif Saed for VG247 gives us our next article. It says Microsoft considered splitting Halo Infinite into different pieces before delaying it. The decision to delay Halo Infinite was Microsoft's last resort. Though the recent Halo Infinite showing may not have generated the best reactions, the news of the game's delay into 2021 was shocking, to say the least. Not only was Infinite the only new first-party game confirmed for Xbox Series X launch, it was also a long-in-development project whose fans didn't think could spend even longer in development. But Microsoft ultimately decided to push back the game's release into next year, and according to Phil Spencer, it wasn't a decision leadership took lightly. Let me just start by recognising the fans and the fact that this is a bummer, Spencer said on the latest episode of Gary Witter's Animal Talking Show, as reported by Steve Ivor. It is disappointing to people. It's disappointing to us. We were looking forward to the alignment of Halo Infinite and the Xbox Series X. Interestingly, Spencer, along with studio leadership, considered splitting the game into separate parts that would each ship individually at different dates, but ultimately didn't go with the option after 24 hours of deliberations. Didn't just feel to all of us like the Halo release that we would want, he said. I'll apologise to the fans because I never like to set up expectations and then not hit them, but I also believe we're making the right decision in the long run for both Xbox and Halo and our customers, he added. Spencer also reiterated that Halo Infinite's delay does not affect Xbox Series X's target launch. Indeed, Microsoft confirmed that the console launches this November on the same day it announced Infinite's delay. When it releases, Halo Infinite's multiplayer will be free to play and run at 120 FPS on Series X. Woof. Those numbers, though. Those numbers. 120 FPS. Yes, please.
I would love to hear what anybody. I mean, I am a Halo fan, not a massive one by any stretch of the imagination, but I do enjoy the games. I would love to know if anyone in the chat is a massive Halo fan, if they would have liked to seen this episodically, because I think that would have pissed people off so much if it did.
Because the Chappers and Enix and Asim have all mentioned in the chat before that they're all Halo dudes, so it'd be interesting to hear.
Yeah. I mean, having a game like this being broken down into different parts, I mean, it would just give them the opportunity to be able to say, this part's £10, that part's £7, this part's £8, this part's £9, or just pay £40 and get them all as and when they release. But I think I hate episodic stories. Resident Evil Revelations 2 was episodic, and that pissed me off because I get to a point where I'm ready to move into the same one. Fair enough, the episodes was like 3 hours long, so you're getting a decent chunk there, but still, you get to a point where you want to move into the next part, and you can't. You have to wait for them to release it, or you buy the game in its entirety when it comes out. I don't like the episodic stuff. I think it's a fucking waste of time, especially if they're waiting 2 or 3 months in between to be able to release stuff because you forget because of the amount of games that you have to go through in that time. So having a game like Halo being broken down would, I think, cheapen the brand overall if that was the case.
Yeah, I agree. You want Blockbuster. You go to the cinemas. Nobody goes to the cinemas to watch part 1 of Peaky Blinders and then goes back again next week. You go to the cinema to watch like fucking Terminator 2 Judgment Day and something like that. Something that you can have the full story. And Halo is, I mean, you're obviously not going to the cinema to play it, but it's cinematic. You don't want to sit down and go, 30 minutes into Terminator 2, and he's back, and oh, fuck. Okay, we're stopping. Okay, we're coming back next week to oh, right, fine. Okay, I'm going to stop now. It's just not the same. It's not, so, yeah. I mean, episodic does have its uses. I mean, obviously, a lot of people who've played the Telltale games would have said that some of them are some of the best storytelling you will see. So not slagging off episodic entirely with that. It's not a sweeping statement. Just saying for something like that, for something that is loud, that is big, that is the console seller, that is 40 hours of some of the most gripping and highly stunning gameplay that you should be sitting down to play, you don't want that split into 5-hour chunks that you go through, spread out over months or weeks or whatever. I don't even like my TV shows to be episodic, says Rock Pie. Rather have it all in one go in a year, maybe even 2, than have a Telltale game style. I mean I understand. I mean I'm not an episodic person personally, but some people do love that kind of stuff. So not an episodic fan when it comes to games. I usually buy together, says Acid. I think it seems like we're all kind of aligned in that sort of sense here. I've been away from Halo since the end of the 360 days as a console. If it needs more time, then GG, I'm delaying it. 100%, 100%. I mean, I don't think the issue is the delay. I think the issue is does that harm the Series X launch? Because that is mentioned within the article. The way they phrased it was not only was Infinite the only new first-party game confirmed for the Xbox Series X launch. That's the thing. It's the only brand new first-party Xbox made. This is our boy game, and that's the issue. It's not, but not saying that that's a reason to not delay it. It definitely needs delaying. The issue is that there's nothing around it as well, giving it that kind of same punch, which is a shame because a lot was probably unfairly to the Halo guys in 343. A lot was riding on Master Chef's shoulders. So yeah, and that's his name, isn't it? It's Master Chef. That's what he calls.
Yeah, that's it, mate. Yeah.
He's got that episodic BBC series.
There's a comment at the bottom of the article that says you think Microsoft knows about its video games business by now. It's like they concentrated so much on the console they forgot about making any games to launch alongside it. Interesting. Nice take. I'm not shitting on Microsoft at all. It just makes me laugh a little bit.
Can I just quickly say the console war memes have been flowing basically as soon as this got announced. Genuinely, Twitter and Reddit have had a field day. They won't say, but will have an impact on Xbox Series X numbers at launch. Whatever you think of Halo, it has the power to sell consoles. I agree. It does. It absolutely does. And I wouldn't have expected them to mention anything about the numbers because they've not done that for the last generation. Xbox won't mention numbers until they are comfortably sure that they are in the lead. If they are in the lead, they will start. I mean, the reason the Xbox 360 was named was because they didn't want to be behind in terms of numbers. So they will never start talking about numbers until they're well out in front. So yeah. So Lloyd Grossman is under the helmet. Phrasing. Imagine he takes off the helmet. It's Greg Wallace underneath.
That would be amazing.
I mean, I'm not a fan of Halo. I'm not anti-Halo. I'm just not a fan of it. If Greg Wallace was Master Chef, Master Chief, then I would be anti-Halo because it just rubs me up. I'm not a fan of Greg Wallace. Or whoever that Aussie bloke is. That one, no one remembers the name. The one with the hamster cheeks that when he eats, it's like... Anyway, enough. We're doing Master Chef impressions. It's time to move on to our final news story of the day, which is much, much less heated than our first Control story. As it's WWE 2K Battlegrounds will feature a variety of game modes. Written by Stephany Nunneley for VG247, the different game modes in WWE 2K Battlegrounds have been detailed, and they range from campaign to a challenge mode. Arcade-style brawler WWE 2K Battlegrounds is out on September the 18th, and it will contain a variety of gameplay modes for all your wrestling needs. My cheeks hurt from pulling them then. Ow. You can find details on each game mode below, straight from 2K Games, as well as in the trailer starring WWE's Paul Heyman. Pidge! Mr. S. Pigeon, thank you very much for the follow. I don't know if you remember Pigeon is the guy that absolutely melted us with the shotguns on PUBG and Karrakin. I dropped in his stream yesterday.
Oh, God, yeah. I'm still... I wake up in tears every single night. It's still haunting me now.
Thank you very much for the follow, dude. Asim says 2K. I know them. Of course you do. I wonder how, Asim. How do you know 2K? Where was we? Let's jump back through the article because I know Bibbs has got to get off. He does have someone coming through. So you can find details on each game mode below, straight from 2K Games, as well as in the trailer starring WWE's Paul Heyman. So the campaign mode.
Paul Heyman guy.
I didn't used to be. I hated Paul Heyman. I know he was meant to be that heel character. but now I don't mind him. Like, looking back at it, I don't mind him, but then, yeah, not so much. Campaign mode. Throw down in this single-player story mode, told through a comic art style as you add to your stable of WWE superstars to overcome the next challenge. Team up with Paul Heyman and Stone Cold Steve Austin as you travel the globe in search of new superstars for an all-new WWE brand. Play as one of the 7 newly created superstars, such as Bowler Reynolds and Jessica Johnson, as you travel across several regions battling WWE superstars, achieving campaign goals, and unlocking various WWE superstars, power-ups, and items. Exhibition mode. Brawl with your friends or family. Watch up to 4-player action online or on the couch in your favourite match types, including one-on-one, tag team, triple threat, fatal 4-way, steel cage match, and Royal Rumble. King of the Battleground mode. Battle to become the last man or woman standing as you and up to 7 other players burn it down and try to toss one another out of the ring. The longer you stay in the arena, the higher your score climbs. The second you send someone flying, another superstar waiting outside the ring enters the fray. Sounds like a Royal Rumble-ish kind of thing. Excuse me 1 second. And back. Online tournament mode. Take the action online for rewards in a variety of time-limited tournaments featuring a wide range of win conditions. Keep an eye out. You never know when a new Battlegrounds tournament might be kicking off. Battleground challenge mode. Brawl from the bottom all the way to the top. Create your own WWE superstar and overcome all the odds stacked against you. Announced in April, the game features a roster of more than 70 wrestlers with additional stars to be announced. The game will be made available on PC, PS4, Stadia, Switch. Didn't realise it was coming to Switch. Nice. And Xbox One. Do you know what?
I'm so fucking sad.
Yeah,
I'm so stoked for this game, man.
Me too.
We've been talking about this for the longest time, and I'm sure that most of you in here will know that I'm a massive advocate for WWE All Stars. I was in love with that game, and you said it about all the arcade games you used to play, like in your house and WrestleMania and stuff like that. The old arcade games were the tits, and I'm so glad that we've got a brand new one like this.
I absolutely. I mean, the fact that I'm start again. My worry was that it was going to be so arcadey and fun that there wasn't going to be substance to it. That was my worry because it looked fun. I mean, lobbing people with the Rock into an alligator. Fuck yeah!
I think this will be amazing to play online. Like, the multiplayer has to be fire on this. It's just going to be so batshit crazy that it's going to be hilarious. I can't wait. I honestly can't wait. I've been waiting for a game like this. I mean, obviously 2K have done Sims with WWE for what feels like the longest time now. So it's obviously used before then. So having sim games, I don't think there's been a proper arcade WWE game like this since All Stars, which was 2012,
something like that.
Yeah, it could be, yeah, something like that. But fucking hell, man! Like, I can't wait.
So yeah, campaign mode. So basically, story mode. Exhibitions, just playing against your friends online or offline. King of the Battleground mode. Become the last man or woman standing. As you and up to 7 online players burn it down to try to toss one another out of the ring. Sounds like we're looking at the theme of King of the Ring meets Royal Rumble, so that sounds pretty good. Online tournaments, and then the Battleground Challenge mode, which is another form of career mode kind of thing, where you create a character and then go through it. There is quite a lot in there. So you've got exhibition stuff, career modes, and create a character modes. I'm happy enough with that as it is. So yeah.
But I mean, the career mode on All Stars, it felt like I was playing it forever. Like, it just went on and on and on, not in a bad way. I didn't expect it to be that long. Do you know what I mean? Because it's an arcade game. Do you know what I mean? You're not expecting a gauntlet, just boom, 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 go next matchup. But like, they had a mode in there where you could fight as you had to fight as D-Generation X, and then you fight as a New Age Outlaw. It just it blew my tits off. So I'm hoping that this is going to do the exact same thing, because I cannot wait to be able to do this.
Did you just say New Age Outlaws? Do you want me to do the New Age Outlaws intro? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, you can do, mate.
I'm not going to do.
You can.
I'm not going to do. There is a clip. We'll find the clip. It's somewhere on the clips where I did the intro to the Scoop as the New Age Outlaws intro. Anyway. The multiplayer is the big selling point. If that's what you're looking for, you'll be happy. Just wait until you get the bib and grib connection. We're going to be coming down to the ring. We'll have the entrance and arenas. We'll have the Titantron and everything. We need to get that, but we need to get the tag titles.
We do need to get tag titles. I'll have a look on Gumtree or something. But I am guaranteed to be sat here the entire stream when we get it like this.
Losing because he's only got one hand on the pad, one hand on the belt.
I have to put it around my neck like Albert used to do.
Yeah. losing because you can only see the bottom, the top half of the screen because the
Like you with a level 3 helmet.
yeah, exactly. Oh, you didn't know? Says Rock Pie. Yeah. Someone called Teddy Long because I want a tag team match against you two when it drops as Chappers. You going down? Believe that, player.
Honestly, I can't wait. It's gonna be so good.
For that, tonight, you're going 1-on-1 with The Undertaker. Believe that, player. I want to have the lines, what's this? When going to the top ropes and boom, shakalaka. That's WWE in your house. High risk maneuver as well. Vince McMahon just shouting out all this sort of stuff. Yeah. Back in
On loop.
Yep. Anyway, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We are done for the scoop. Thank you very much for the heated debate. Much appreciated. I like the fact that most people stuck around after the heated debate. It looks like we lost Jordan, which is fine because he's a sensitive soul. It's fine. But you know what? We do like a nice heated debate. We had one. What was it on previously? I think it might have been a Pez one before. And it was interesting to have like a number of people in the chat celebrating how the fact that everyone was still here and we're all still friends after a heated debate. I mean, just having an opinion doesn't mean you have to fall out with someone. That's the key thing. The scoop is all about talking about things, and having heated debates is good. If anyone's listened to Drive on Talk Sport or whatever, bear with me. Anyone's listened to Drive on Talk Sport? Drive used to be a really good thing. It used to be amazing. It's not now because it's so scripted and formulaic. Goffey will be the good guy and Durham will be the bad guy, and they'll both pick a side of a story, and one of them will fight for good and one will fight for bad. We don't do that here. We fight for what we believe in, and we will argue what we believe in, and you argue what you believe in, and that's the point. We don't want to create fictional stuff. Drive used to be amazing. Shit now. Hopefully we can capture some of what Drive used to be, and we don't have to make Bibby start doing his best Darren Goff impression, because nobody wants that. Nobody wants that at all. Nobody wants Darren Goff doing his best Darren Goff impression. You understand? Anyway, thank you very much everyone for joining us. We will be back not tomorrow with the scoop. So I don't know if Chappers missed it. We aren't doing Masters of the League today. We were talking about, obviously, yesterday we were going to reshuffle Masters of the League. We didn't necessarily say it was going to be today, but we may have an episode of Masters of the League on Sunday. We may. Me and Bib need to see if we can sort out calendars and stuff.
Viable.
Yeah. There will be no Masters of the League or Scoop tomorrow for two reasons. One, it's hot as balls, and two, I just genuinely don't feel like my internet is up for it right now. I don't. Kieran Degnan, I don't know if he's in the stream, mentioned he sent a trend that was going on yesterday on Twitter about a lot of people's Wi-Fi was struggling. Not that I'm on Wi-Fi, but the same thing applies because it's because of the heat. Heat essentially maxes out your electronic devices, which causes your internet to be shit. Long story short, my internet was struggling yesterday. It's not the greatest today either, so I don't think it would be done. But there will be no Masters of the League today. I will jump on with some PUBG. Probably going to get melted by Mr. S Pigeon, who's just dropped a follow in the chat once again. Thank you very much for that, Pidge. Because he's better at the game than me. That's simply put. So I will be jumping into some PUBG. Oh, he's still here. There he is. I refuse to kill you. So I will be jumping on with some PUBG after this. There will be no scoop tomorrow. No Masters of the League tomorrow. Nothing tomorrow unless we have any later content that comes up. We'll see how the day goes on. See if things cools down towards Friday evening. But yeah, that's it. If not, best thing to do, hit follow on the channel. You will get notified when we do go live and stuff. But before we disappear, Bib, is there anything you want to add in?
There is two things that I want you guys to know. First thing, if you are a subscriber to this channel, then please join our Discord, because you have the opportunity to win some fantastic stuff. We've given away codes to Rogue Company in there just for you guys being subscribers. There is incentives for you to be in our Discord. So this month's prize is a hat. I don't know if you're wearing it now, Graham, but we've got ice cream uploads hats. Very limited run. I think we have 15 altogether. One of them's mine, one of them's Graham, so there's 13. As and when what we're going to do with them, but one of them could be yours. All you need to do is make sure that you are in our Discord. If you are subscribed, please join it, because you will be missing out on something cool if you're not. The second thing is if you would like to be a part of the show, not only do you get the opportunity to have your thoughts and impressions in chat, but you can also give us the stories that you want to be heard. If you have an opinion on them, then feel free to find us on social media. It's at Ice Cream Buttons across absolutely everything, as well as in our Discord as well. All you need to do is just drop in the link to the article, your thoughts and impressions. We will then give you our thoughts and impressions on the very next show, which will be at what time on Monday morning, Mr. Graham Day?
10 a.m.
Ish.
10 a.m. ish. Socials links are in the chat. Thank you very much for that, Madge. What a guy. What a
Hero.
guy. Final few bits of housekeeping before we do that. Exclamation mark giveaway. We are giving away a retro console. Surely you've seen it by now. We got 2 from backing them in Kickstarter, and we're giving one away. Kickstarkers. So yeah, if you want to bag yourself a console, you can enter for free there. You don't have to. It's just a nice bit of a way for us to give back to you guys for free. And as well as that, if you do want to bag yourself something guaranteed, I mean, it will cost you a few pennies to do so, but you can save 25% of them by using code IceCream25. We are now partnered with Muscle Moose, so you can get flapjacks, you can get bars, you can get tortilla chips, you can even get mug cakes and pancakes, as well as chocolate mousses and all the rest. If you want protein, energy drinks and stuff like that, musclemoose.co.uk, use code IceCream25. We don't earn any money on that. We only share that code because it's one just for our community. Obviously, other communities can use it, but they don't get all the benefits of being here like you guys do. Anyway, we are going to disappear because Bibby has people arriving. Don't know what for.
TV's on the wall.
Oh, TV's on the wall. Oof.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. I am going to drop off. I will jump straight back on with some PUBG. So if you want to stick around, tick off what day we on Thursday. Oh, new weeklies. So we'll tick off the new weeklies and daily missions. If you want to jump into a few games as well, please feel free to let me know. I'm always up for a couple of duos or some squads or whatever. So yeah, let me know. But that's it. Have yourselves a fantastic day, and until PUBG, and then after that, if you're not sticking around for PUBG, we'll see you on Monday, if not before. Till then, stay frosty.
Stay frosty.
Yeah.